This year, 2020, Bartlett's annual 4th of July celebration has been canceled due to COVID-19, but everyone is already looking forward to the return of next year to the parade, the fireworks, and the festival. Though Bartlett has historically been a site for celebrating the 4th, it wasn't until 1991, the village's centennial year, that instituted the festivities that continue on to today. So this year, let's rewind and rewatch the 1991 Centennial 4th of July parade with updates included. Back then, the parade was recorded by TCI, Bartlett's then cable provider, and saved for the history books on VHS tape. Who remembers VHS tapes? Preparations for Bartlett's centennial celebration began in the spring of 1989 when the Centennial Commission was appointed by then village president Glenn Kohler. The late T.L. Ahrens and the late Bill Tickness were appointed co-chairs. Other members of the commission included the late Elmer Heck, the late Jim Jensen, Shirley Casco, Ted Lewis, Peg Mueller, Jay Perkins, the late Reverend Ted Preuss, Valerie Salmons, and the late Carol Taylor. The earliest item in the museum's collection that pertains to 4th of July is this Independence Day ribbon that's dated July 4th, 1904, Bartlett, Illinois. The Cook County Herald that year stated, "The celebration at Bartlett was a success every way. There was a large crowd and everyone had a good time. Bartlett people know how to get up a celebration that never fails to draw a crowd. Good speakers are always provided, and the music, games of all kinds for old and young, good order is maintained, and people coming to Bartlett once are sure to come again." In 1897, the village purchased its first piece of firefighting equipment, a Howe hand pumper. During the nation's bicentennial in 1976, the old pumper was restored back to its original glory. Today it's on exhibit, Fire Station 1 on Oak Avenue. In the collection of the Bartlett History Museum, there are many images from past 4th of July parades. Let's take a look at some from the 1920s.
They certainly are.
Well, I think our ears may be ringing a little bit here from all the noise. We certainly had quite a number of fire engines and police cars from all over the place, as far away as Evanston and as far south as Lockport. And I think you had told me just before we started that the Lions Group has been very integral in coordinating and planning this whole parade this year.
That's correct. We have the Bartlett Centennial Commission asked the Bartlett Lions Club to run the parade for them. So we put it together and have been working on it for a little over a year, since about May of 1990 is when we started working.
And that must have been quite a job to coordinate all the floats and all the organizations participating.
We wrote letters and sent them out to all the business people in and around our own community. And then we asked them if they knew anyone that would like to participate and help us celebrate our centennial.
Great. Now, what's up here first? The 1st Cavalry Division Medal of Honor. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, this is the 1st Cavalry Division, and the Medal of Honor winner, he is leading the parade, you might say. This is a honor that deserves a salute from everyone, including generals. Immediately behind them now is the Army Color Guard from Fort Sheridan.
Well, they've had to travel a bit of a distance to participate in the parade, too.
Right, and now right behind them is the Fort Sheridan Marching Band, 30 strong.
We'll just take a minute and listen to their music. And up here we have the veterans of American conflicts.
They're from all branches of the service. As you see, we have Navy, Army, Marines, and Waves. There's a lady there.
Now all of these flags, are these flags of the different branches of the service?
Yes.
Great.
Special Forces. We have a new VFW post here in Bartlett.
Oh, great.
They just passed.
Post 11018.
Yes.
Great.
They just started up, and we hope to get it to grow.
Seems like we have some Desert Storm veterans going by now. I'm sure everyone is very proud to have them participating in the parade today. Looks like it's
some of my scouts. How did they get there?
That's right. You'd mentioned you were very active in the Scouts as well as the Lions. Lots of yellow ribbons here decorating the vehicles, showing their support for all the troops. Now it looks like we have some costumed visitors to our parade today.
This is T.L. Sumners and Bill Tickness. They are co-chairmen of the Bartlett Centennial Commission.
Centennial Commission co-chairs T.L. Ahrens and Bill Tickness marched the entire parade route that day wearing historic costumes.
They, like I said, they had the 1891 clothes. And my dad wanted me to find out about exactly what kind of clothes they wore back then, so I went to the library and looked stuff up for them and made copies of the pictures, and I guess they used them. I don't know where they got. They must have rented all that stuff, because I think my dad had a stovepipe hat on.
Let's learn a little more about the 3 oldest residents living in Bartlett at the time of the parade and were chosen to participate in it. Schultz, 1897 to 1993. Bill was born on a farm about a mile outside of Bartlett. The family moved into the village in 1907. At age 17, Bill started working for his dad at the family's Schultz Hardware. In 1922, he married Ruby Lester, pictured here with him, and they raised 3 daughters. Bill took over operations of Schultz Hardware after his dad's passing in 1936 and ran it till his own retirement in 1964. Even after retirement, Bill continued fixing little plumbing and electrical problems for many of the older residents. Arnold Benson, 1898 to 1992. Arnie and his family had a farm on North Bartlett Road until they moved into the village in 1942, purchasing a home on South Hickory Avenue. Arnie married Clara Wendler in 1952. He worked in Bartlett at Host's Garage, which later became Thurnau and Benecke's Garage, and was once located on Main Street. Even after his retirement, Arnie continued to repair lawnmowers out of his home. Herbert Schnaad, 1900 to 2001. The Schnaad family moved to Bartlett in 1905 when Herb's dad, Herman, purchased the Bartlett Tavern, where the family initially lived. Herb had a long career at the Bartlett State Bank, of which his father was one of the founders. He served as cashier and chief executive officer from 1929 to 1970. Herb married local gal Alice Olhaber, and the couple had 1 son, Glenn.
The gentleman lived in Bartlett all his life, and the next one is Herbert Schnaad, and he's from 1900. He's been with us all his life here in Bartlett.
Oh my goodness, that's great. Some lifelong residents.
Then after them, we have Bartlett Centennial Triplets.
Oh my goodness.
The first babies born of the centennial year and turned out to be triplets.
Bartlett was established in 1873 with the advent of the railroad and the building of our train depot. But it wasn't until March 2nd, 1891, that we incorporated as the village of Bartlett, and we used that date as our official birth date. The Centennial Commission was looking to recognize a baby born 100 years later on March 2nd as the official centennial baby. Well, Bartlett didn't get 1, 2, we got 3 babies. The Giamonico triplets were born on March 2nd, 1991 at 2 a.m. in the morning, making them Bartlett's centennial babies. The triplets are, from left to right, Julia Elizabeth, who's planning her wedding for this summer, Emily Kathleen, who is married and has 3 children of her own, and Rebecca Leah, who's also married and has 2 children.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And after the triplets, we have the Bartlett Essay Contest winners, children that wrote essays as to what Bartlett means to them in the Centennial from our schools here in the area.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The Bartlett Grade School and the Eastview Grade School and Teft middle school.
Well, it seems very apparent that education is very important to everyone here in Bartlett.
Yes.
And what a wonderful idea to tie that in with the Centennial.
Mm-hmm.
We have beautiful weather today for the parade as well. It's nice and sunny, but thank goodness there's a breeze.
A little breeze helps.
Yeah, since we're going to be here for a while, it's kind of nice to have that breeze coming through. Lots of people got here pretty early to stake out a good spot for the parade, so they're serious parade goers. I know it was a little bit hard for people driving around this morning because the barricades were up pretty early so that people could get here and stake out their spots. Coming up next here, I believe that should be Senator Doris Carpiel. Have I pronounced it? Carpiel, okay.
I can't see from here. I believe that should be next, if something didn't get in front of her.
Well, they may be keeping their distance from all of those fire engines. Goodness knows, yeah. Probably wants to save her hearing a bit. Well, here's a young parade goer. He's got his flag in hand. He's ready. He looks like a pretty serious little kid too, doesn't he?
He certainly does.
Well, it'd be kind of nice to be riding one of those little convertibles today. And this one has a birthday greeting to Bartlett on the side there. Decorated for the holiday.
Is this tomorrow at 4? Dick?
And next we have the Village Bartlett Board. They also seem to be dressed in period costumes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the village president and the village board and the village clerk and the village administrator here. They seem to be tossing out candy to the crowd. That'll make them popular. Oh, almost. Almost. They just need to throw it a little bit farther to get to our table here, Dick. And an old-time buggy here, too. That's fun. And we've got some more classic cars coming up on the screen here. These look like something out of Rebel Without a Cause. Doesn't look like they'll be doing any drag racing today, though.
No, I don't think so.
They're going at a nice, safe, slow speed.
Right.
And is this next one, I believe, is the Emmanuel United Church of Christ. And they're ringing their bells, ringing in the Centennial for Bartlett, it looks like.
Bartlett's oldest continuing house of worship, today known as Emmanuel United Church of Christ at North and Western Avenues, was established also in 1891. The village and this congregation celebrated their 100 years the same year.
And passing candy out.
And that'll make them popular. It looks like they've got a float with them too, a representation, I believe, of their church.
Right.
I'm sure that reflects quite a few hours of planning and production to get that float put together.
Pastor Reverend Preuss, who is the pastor of Emmanuel Lutheran Church, or Emmanuel United Church of Christ, is also a Lion.
Oh, that's
so he
great.
worked on the parade also.
Doing double duty there,
Yeah.
huh? And it looks like we've got some Cub Scouts here.
No, these are Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts, okay, Boy Scout Troop 26.
Right.
And our next float is from Sherman Hospital, I believe. They're advertising an ice cream social on July 10th. I'll have to write that down. They've got some candy stripers up there and volunteers. It looks like some nurses and doctors. And a young patient. 103 years of caring, it says on the side there. So Sherman Hospital is just a couple of years older than Bartlett itself today.
Right.
And an old-time horse and buggy just passed us by.
Carol Ackerman.
And this is Faith Richards. You'd mentioned that there are quite a few people who have horses out here. And that was part of the reason you had all the fire trucks go first.
That's right. We were afraid it would upset the horses, so we try to keep the horses together and far enough behind the sirens.
Those are beautiful horses. And hopefully there's still enough open land out here in Bartlett that you can take a nice horseback ride here.
Yes, we have a couple stables. In fact, just down the street from us, south, about a quarter of a mile, is a stable where they board horses and teach riding.
Oh, great. And now we've got the Greenbrook West Cadets. Looks like we've got some twirlers here. Doing some precision routines here. It says they're from right here in Bartlett, I believe. Looks like a very popular organization. We've even got some of the youngsters out here. Some real little girls participating. Sure hoping that maybe they'll grow up to be the drum majorette at the beginning there.
The drum majorettes of the future. Hey.
And this one says the Wheelmen of Michigan. Looks like they've got some old-time bicycles they're wheeling around on.
And they came all the way from Michigan.
That's great. Now, I'm not sure I'd be able to keep my balance on a bicycle like that. I think one that's got two wheels the same size is challenging enough for me. I want to know, how do you get on them in the first place? I have to have some sort of step stool or be next to a fence or something.
You have to be, is right.
Oh, and some of them are even doing tricks on their bicycles here. Fine example of daring do on old-time bicycles. Oh, no, here's an interesting one that's sort of just pumped. They just went by. It didn't really have pedals per se. Oh, and here comes one for the fashionable lady of yesteryear. Almost looks like a little bit of a carriage there. Dressed in her period costume as well. She's taking a turn at a sedately pace here. Oh, it looks like there's even a little attachment there so she can stick her parasol in there and take it with her.
These bicycles that we have just seen are all supposedly over 100 years old.
Oh, really?
The official Centennial logo paid homage to our railroad heritage. It featured a steam train passing the 1873 depot and the years 1891 to 1991, and the village's motto, Progress with Pride. This logo appeared on caps, t-shirts, wooden train whistles, posters, Christmas ornament, and many more items that were available for purchase.
And we have a little miniature airplane on wheels coming our way.
That's the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists.
Well, that's quite an eye-catching device there to get people's attention for their cause. And I wonder if it really flies as well. I'm sure they take that out to all different kinds of community events to draw attention to their cause. It looks like we've got another colorful float coming our way. This one, I believe, is from the Bartlett Baptist Church. And they've got an alternative to controlled substances. They say get high on Jesus, so they're got a different slant on things. Seems like a lot of people are very active in their churches here in Bartlett.
Yes, we have several churches, and they all seem to be very well represented with parts of our population here.
And you'd mentioned that population has exploded since you moved here in 1971.
Right. Yeah, it was about 2,000 people at that time, and now we're up to close to 20,000 or more.
That's quite an increase.
Well, it's a beautiful community, and it has been well planned. They have not, our fathers, city fathers, have not just jumped into growth, but have planned it, and the plan seems to be still in progress and working well. Thank you.
Oh, we've gotten some leaflets passed out to us here. And up next here, it looks like this is the 2nd Virginia Regiment, also in period costumes. Oh, we're getting
For an 8-pound,
pencils as well.
8-pound, 4 to 6 pound coat,
Right.
plus everything else you've got, plus all your equipment and everything else. So you're probably wearing or carrying about
Now again, those costumes have to be a little bit stifling in this.
about 25 pounds of stuff in light marching order.
On the weekend of June 22nd and 23rd, 1991, a Revolutionary War Encampment was held at Apple Orchard Park. It was organized by J. Perkins, who served on the Centennial Commission, and who was also a member of the Northwest Territory Alliance. He, along with more than 200 other members, participated. They demonstrated how people lived, dressed, and enjoyed themselves during those early days. Also included was simulated battles, which demonstrated how wars were fought during Revolutionary days.
Personally, I like to see the fact that the women were represented in that as well.
And carrying muskets also.
And I believe this is the Bartlett Women's Club here.
I'm sure that it was Joyce Davis that organized it because she was the one that insisted that we always participate in the parade. And we never knew till we showed up whether we were going to be in a Cadillac convertible or in a trailer or whatever she could find for us to do. And some people walked because we met here at a little cabin.
Part of the Bartlett
And
Women's
then we
Club.
walked all the way out to
I
Apple
imagine they're very
Orchard.
active in the community as well. Looks like we have a contingent of decorated bicycles coming up here.
Those are some of the things that the Bartlett Women's Club sponsors. Lunch with the Easter Bunny and that sort of thing.
Oh, how wonderful. I bet that's popular with the children. Looks like the Indian guides and princesses have decorated their bicycles to celebrate the centennial of Bartlett. And coming up next, I believe, is the Dundee Scots Drum and Bugle Corps. And here we have something that says
They were
sponsored by Suburban Bank of Bartlett.
Mm-hmm.
And as they come by, we may just take a short recess so we can listen to their music. Again, they're also in authentic costumes. They were certainly a well-trained band there.
They were very good.
This should be another scouting organization, I believe.
Cub Scouts.
Now, you've
Pack
mentioned
51.
you're also involved with the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts here in Bartlett.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm involved with Pack 26 and Troop 26, Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. I enjoy working with the boys. We just came back from a camping trip last week up in central Wisconsin, had a great time.
Oh, I bet. But the kids loved that. Looks like the moms and dads are joining in with the scouts today to give them a little help on the long trek through the parade route here.
The Cub Scout program is sponsored, not sponsored necessarily, but run basically by adults, wherein the Boy Scout troop is run by the boys themselves. And the adults just more or less oversee it to see that it stays in the right direction. But the boys do their own program planning and running their own meetings.
And here we have a float from the White Hen Pantry. Happy Independence Day, it says.
Chandler.
Now we've got the Main Street USA roller rink speed team. I'm not sure I'd be able to skate backwards. It probably takes quite a bit of training to do some of the things on roller skates that they're doing today. And now we've got the Academy School of Dance coming up here. Sort of a 1920s gangster theme, it looks like. Pinstripe suits and some glitzy gold top hats and sort of a 1930s folly look. Over here. Some costume dancers in the back of the truck. I think this is the Shriners Big Wheels coming up. Now I'm used to seeing them on little motorcycles and things. This is kind of a switch. And this particular group of Shriners, it says, is from Hoffman Estates.
They're from the Medina Shrine Club in Chicago, but their club here is in Hofmannsthal.
Another decorated truck coming by with lots of candy for the kids.
I believe that's the Emmanuel Lutheran Church float.
Another example of how involved people are in their community churches here. Coming up next, I think, is the Bartlett Rotary Club. And one thing that I always think of when I think of the Rotary Club is the scholarships that they sponsor for students to study abroad.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have an active club here.
And it looks like another scouting troop just right behind them.
This is the Cub Scouts from Pack 26. That's my other group.
So you know quite a few of those faces there.
Just about all of them.
Hiya, Mr. Benson. I owe you one.
And now we've got some representatives of the Girl Scout troops here. Girl Scout Troop 452.
Here you go, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, wasn't that nice? Someone from the scouting troop just came over and gave us some Tootsie Rolls. And this scouting troop, it looks like they've got a 50s theme. They're all dressed in poodle skirts and got hula hoops, and some are on roller skates. And now we have Faith World Outreach. And they've got some original music today. Some characters dressed up in biblical costumes here as well. It looks like we have the Russ Newman race car up here on the screen. I wonder if this is a little frustrating for him to be going so slow. He's probably used to speeding around a track. Now, would that be Russ Newman himself walking in front of the car, or do you think he's the one in the car?
Oh, they're brothers.
Oh, okay. And they're right here from Bartlett. And are you familiar with some of the races that they've competed in, or?
No, I am not. I am not familiar with their racing. I know that's basically a hobby with them.
I'm sure probably a pretty expensive hobby. I don't think that that's And oh, this is an organization near and dear to your heart, the Bartlett Lions.
I became a member because of all the things that the Lions Club does. They're very active in the community, and they're always doing something for the community. They're helping out the police department at National Night Out, and they have a lot of functions that they do for the community. And then there's a lot of conventions to go to where you meet other Lions, and it was just a very wonderful, caring organization.
North Pole gear there. It was nice of him to drop by, though. Maybe this is kind of his downtime, though. It's not real busy right now.
Well, those are two things that the Bartlett Lions sponsor for children. Is a Christmas party in the Christmas season. And then the Bartlett Lion, he's there for picnics. He has sponsored picnic and things for the children.
Looks like we've got some more period costumes on this flow. This is also part of the Lions organization.
This one should be from Streamwood, the Streamwood Lionesses.
Everyone's getting into the Centennial theme with all these old-time costumes. Now, do the Lions organizations from different towns cooperate on some of the national programs that Lions are involved in?
Yes, they do. Basically, we all work towards the same goal, and that is for the blind, seeing eye dogs and eye surgery and that type of things for the people that can't afford it for themselves. We help there. And as I say, or had indicated earlier, we are also now working in drugs to keep drugs from children and how to
I'm glad you
participate in that
amended
program.
That. It sounded a little strange for working in drugs, working to prevent drug abuse in America.
Right.
That's great.
We sponsor programs at schools, and we donate equipment to schools for them to use in their drug programs.
Great, great. Now we've got the Elgin Lions Club here, I believe.
In some areas, we compete with our fellow Lion clubs to see who can raise the most for a particular fundraising thing that we're doing, like when on Candy Day.
Friendly
Hi there.
Hey, we've got one of the clowns coming over to say hello to us.
Uh-oh, never mind.
Hey, we got more goodies out of it, though. Sure, come back. But it's all in good fun. I'm
Yes,
sure it's
it is.
very friendly competition.
We compete to see who can raise the most money for a particular cause on Candy Day and that sort of thing. And it makes them all get out and work a little harder for their club. And, of course,
Right.
it's all more money then for the final use.
The South Elgin Lions Club, I believe it says there.
You did.
Getting a lot of questions from the peanut gallery here about if we're on television or not. This may be part of the Streamwood Historical Society. We'll have to wait until it gets a little closer to make sure about that. And we can hear another band in the background as well. Looks like we've got some more period costumes here. I'm sure glad we don't have to put on so many layers anymore. Although those parasols would come in handy now, wouldn't they?
They certainly would.
Well, I'm sure that the Historical Society has been quite involved with the Centennial organization, providing resources and historical documents, I'm sure, to help everyone here in Bartlett learn a little bit more about their history.
Yes.
And the Patriot Revolutionary Fife and Drum Corps up next here. Seems like we've got all ages participating in this one. We have some interesting flags up there. Not sure I recognize all of them. Like this float coming up would be with the Park District, perhaps. We've got some 1920s flapper costumes here. At least they had the right idea. If they were going to wear period costumes, why not wear bathing suits? Old-time bathing suits. Well, if we get enough of this candy here, Dick, we can...
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
You're sitting out in the sun. That's almost as bad as what's walking.
You're right.
The best seat here, Dick. We're getting a lot of attention. I believe this float is from the Living Lord Church. Again, more candy. I'm going to gain a lot of weight during this parade. Oh, here
And
comes
right behind them, we have the jelly bean clowns.
Well, I'm sure this is going to be real popular with the kids. Just behind them is the Rennes Addiction Counseling Center group. With a lot of kids participating in a program to educate children on the whole drug issue. Their banner says, "My choice is to be drug-free."
Hey, Dick, they gonna sell those tapes?
And this car looks like it's all decorated for the Centennial. Patriotic theme. And now we have some pom-pom girls coming up. I believe this group is from Elgin, it says. I'm sure they're probably parade veterans, having marched in quite a few. None so grand as the Bartlett Centennial, I'm sure.
That's true.
And coming up here, we have the Royal Vanguard Band. Oops, then we caught the back of some of the pom-pom girls as they're doing one of the routines. Here's the Vanguard Band. Bartlett florist. Decorated with all kinds of beautiful flowers here. And I believe these children are involved in the Bartlett Little League program. All the moms and dads are out there helping the kids along the parade route here.
The Bartlett Park District and also Bartlett Little League are very large in this area with kids and supporting them in their football, baseball, soccer activities. And
so I'm sure that there are programs that children can participate in almost year-round now.
just about.
And I believe this is part of the Bartlett Chamber of Commerce up next here. Now, is this the car they usually...
Bartlett's Chamber of Commerce traces its roots to 1977, when the Greater Bartlett Chamber of Commerce was formed, today known as the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce. In 1991, the Chamber sponsored the Centennial Ball and a Las Vegas night. They also sold the commemorative Centennial book, which tells the history of the village through family-submitted stories and those of businesses, churches, organizations, and much more. And historic images were also included in the book. This was just one of the many fundraisers that were held to help pay for the Centennial event and the building of the Centennial Gazebo. During the parade, chamber members tossed flying discs to spectators.
mostly tool around in, Dick, or
Not quite.
they maybe just rented this special for the occasion, huh?
I believe that's right.
And up here it looks like we have the Eragon Dance Academy with some of the tiniest little dancers I've ever seen. I get the impression maybe these are the beginner dancers here. All costumed though, and what they may lack in professional skill, they more than make up with enthusiasm.
They brought their own music.
And here's the Girl Scout Brownie Troop number 237 from Bartlett. And I think that dog you were admiring before is part of the, maybe the mascot for this particular troop. And on this horse and buggy, I think this may be Suburban Bank of Bartlett, perhaps?
Yes.
Oh, with some more period costumes. I hope they have some long, tall lemonades in that buggy to help them keep cool. And this is it doesn't look like an antique tractor to me. But they've got candy and they're throwing it out to the crowd, so the crowd's just as pleased. Seems like we have some bystanders helping out with the cleanup here. We're running out and picking up all the candy that might have fallen. Haven't we seen some of these on the highways as we're trying to get somewhere?
That's true. This is our snow removal equipment, and the truck that had passed us previously was a Salter.
So I'm sure this particular piece of equipment is a very popular sight when you get some snowstorms out here.
Oh, it certainly is.
With
A
all this-
welcome sight.
Right, with all this open land, I'm sure there's a lot of drifting out here in the winter.
And I have to put in a good word for these people. They do an excellent job in cleaning our streets.
It's something you really appreciate until you don't have it anymore.
That's true. It's very true. This is our antique.
Antique tractor. There's still quite a bit of farmland out here, isn't there?
Yes, there is. In the surrounding area. And actually, within a couple of blocks of downtown Bartlett, they're still growing corn.
That's great. Don't see too much open land anymore, so it's nice to see. Northeastern Illinois chapter of the Two-Cylinder Club. Now I'm at a loss to understand that description there. Is this, again, more tractors?
More tractors, I believe.
Okay. Well, most of us a little bit further east have to wait for farmers market days to get fresh produce, but I imagine with all the farms out here, it's a lot more accessible.
Yes, it is. We have a couple areas here right in town that farmers come in and sell their wares.
And right about now is it's a good time for corn on the cob and fresh tomatoes, and peaches are coming into season soon. Is it mostly vegetables around here, or do you
Vegetables.
have some?
Basically vegetables, corn on the cob. They do bring peaches in, but they're generally Michigan peaches.
But if you did grow peaches here in Bartlett, I'm sure they'd taste better than the Michigan
Oh,
peaches.
absolutely they would. Everything is better in Bartlett.
think this is the float from the Courier News. Now, is that published right here in...
No, that's in Elgin.
In Elgin, okay.
Mhm.
And that's the newspaper that covers what's going on in Bartlett, though?
Yes, Bartlett and Elgin, South Elgin, the general community in this Fox Valley area.
And Boy Scout Troop 99 here.
Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. They're sponsored by Resurrection Church here in Bartlett.
Tomorrow at 4, Channel 30, got it. Oh, hi, Mom. Hi, look at her watching TV. Hold on. Oh, you look absolutely great.
We've got some bystanders here coming up, and hey, he's stealing some of our little cache of candy here. That was supposed to be our lunch.
Right.
4 o'clock or 4:30? On cable, Channel 30, 4 o'clock.
And this float up here on screen now, I think, is from Red Carpet Realty. And there's the tail end of the scouting. I wonder if you can earn a badge for being in parades.
Well, you can earn it for hiking, and that's part of it.
That's true.
No, I don't know of a parade badge yet, but that might be coming.
Red Carpet Realtors out of Schaumburg, I believe. Welcoming home the troops. And this one is from Frost Carpentry. Am I pronouncing that correctly, or is it Frost?
Frost. Mm-hmm.
Looks like they've built a little pagoda there, a little...
They built our Centennial, and I guess this is a model of it, the Centennial Gazebo.
A gazebo, okay.
And this is a model of it.
So there's a larger version in one of the parks in Dundee?
Yes, where the parade started.
Great.
The Centennial Gazebo, designed by L.J. Leverance, located in Bartlett Park, was dedicated on July 3, 1991 at 7:30 in the evening. The Centennial Commission determined that this would be the best gift to give the residents of Bartlett on their village's 100th birthday. Now, the fundraising to build this gazebo took many different forms, and they were hosted by the different civic organizations within the community, pledging and then raising money to put toward the building of it. One of the things sold were commemorative bricks, which still today line the path around the gazebo, that could be purchased in various sizes. That evening, there was speeches given by local dignitaries. A Boy Scout troop erected a flagpole at the base of the gazebo there, and in honor of one of their past leaders. Recognition of the Bartlett students who won the Centennial Essay Contest, and there was recognition of the flag contest held by Bartlett Grade School. And the evening ended with a concert by the Jolly Corks, a big band era band.
Your waste products, garbage and things of that nature that people dispose of daily in their homes, they want to put them in what they call bales and bury it here in Bartlett in an area that they have decided is a good spot for it. We here in Bartlett don't care for this because of leaching and groundwater that would become contaminated. So we have fought this as best we can with our minimal amount of reserves. But so far we've been effective. Whether we're going to be totally effective or not, I don't know.
Well, best of luck on that. Up next we have Boy Scout Troop Pack number 52. With a lot of colorful gold and blue balloons here. And just behind that, Century 21 Realty here in Bartlett is sponsoring a decorated vehicle for the parade today. And as you mentioned, I'm sure real estate is pretty good business to be in with everyone
Yes, it is
moving
here
out
in
here.
Bartlett. We have quite a few realty businesses here. Some have been here for a long time and have seen the village grow and have helped it grow.
Now this looks like a vintage 50s kind of car, doesn't it?
Yes. Chevrolet, this is Dad's.
Now is that an acronym for something? Or
Yes.
what does that stand
December
for?
Afternoon Drinking Society.
High-minded group, it sounds like.
How they ever got that name, I have no idea.
Are they? This one fellow said serving Bartlett for 23 years. And now we have Girl Scout Brownie Troop 526 and Daisy Troop 678. And the Bartlett Library Horse and Buggy. Proclaiming this is reading country.
Good
Those
morning.
horses
Thank
look like
you.
they're a little worse for the wear right now. All this hot weather and sun beating down them's got to make them a little uncomfortable. We've just been handed a Bartlett Centennial booklet with some information from the Bartlett Historical Society. Well, on behalf of myself, Claire Wilkinson, and my co-host, Dick Metzel, I'd like to thank you for watching the Bartlett Centennial Parade. And on behalf of our director, Sean Spencer, and the entire production crew at TCI of Illinois, we'd like to congratulate Bartlett on its centennial. Thank you for watching.
One of the highlights of the Centennial festivities was certainly this parade, held on July 6. More than 82 units participated, including numerous fire and police equipment, some as far away as Lockport. There were 4 bands, numerous floats, and many specialty groups. Most people said back then it was one of the finest parades they had seen. Credit for organizing and formation of the parade went to the Bartlett Lions Club, who continues to do so today. They volunteered to do the job, and what a great job they did. Special thanks back then went to Lion members the late Dick Menzel, who was one of the commentators of the parade, the late Roger Peterson, Mike Schmidt, and the late Ollie Hart. We hope you enjoyed rewatching the 1991 Centennial Parade, and maybe you even caught a glimpse of yourself